Hi, it's Rebecca, Empathic Crow. I was getting ready to do, excuse me, a reading. Everything is blooming right now, including those nasty Bradford pears that, if you know what they are, you know they stink and they're horrible. They're not even the best trees. So please excuse me. I have year-round allergies, but of course, spring and fall being when the ragweed starts to come in at the end of July, beginning of August, really ramp up my sinuses. But I was going to sit down and write whatever was coming into my mind in my journal. But instead, there were a couple of things that one just fell out when I was trying to move something. And it's trash as far as I should have thrown it away. I don't even know what it's from. Maybe some glue. That's probably what it is. I think it may be part of, I don't even know where the glue stick is right now, but part of packaging for a glue stick. There it is. A glue stick that I got. Yep, that would make sense because it matches the colors. But it's funny because I have no idea why I have the rest of it's been thrown away. That trash has already been taken out. And for some reason, it was just laying beside of one of my little organizing drawers and it says your needs. So I guess that's important. Well, of course, that's always important. But I feel like that may be part of what comes through in the message is being able to focus on your needs. I know I've talked about that a lot lately, being able to understand that we can't always be the support for everyone else. Sometimes we have to be able to focus on ourselves as well. Oh, and I did find my other angel wing earring. If you saw the reading where I was showing the earrings, and because it related to the reading, and this one was missing. My husband had found it while I was doing the reading. It had apparently fallen out in the bedroom. But anyway, focusing on your needs. So that's important. And then also the sticker that I had made, I haven't put transfer tape on it yet, but this felt important as well. It was not with the other stickers. I have this little box that I've been keeping a lot of the stickers that I've been making in, and so it was not with those stickers. And I need to, as you see, put transfer tape on all of these. And the chaos within me found balance. That is something we all need. So, and then, you know, I'm a feather lady, so I had to do a feather one. So anyway, the sticker that was not with the stuff that it should have been with, just like the piece of packaging for the glue stick that says your needs, felt like it was important to look at that too. So let's look at this and read it. So of course, you know, I'm a crow lady, so it's got a crow on it and it has raindrops, and it says, sometimes you just need to bow your head, say a prayer, and weather the storm. So whether it's a prayer, whether it is meditation, whether it is automatic writing things down, whatever it is, challenging your thoughts, being able to reframe and refocus when you're feeling anxious or upset. It's just important to be able to take those moments and focus on your needs. So we'll put this in my container so that I can be sure that it gets transfer tape on it. If you've made stickers or you've gotten stickers, you know that the transfer tape helps to be able to position, and in fact, here's a piece of transfer tape. It helps to be able to position and put your sticker wherever you want it. So joining us today is Falkor. Falkor is this beautiful dream amethyst that my brother and sister-in-law gave me for Christmas. Not last year, but I think the year before. Also Asher, I have had Asher for quite a while. He is a larvacite skull, and he does have some flashes. This lighting's a little dull. There we go. You can see it a little bit. Asher is also the name of the first, or the name given to me of the first guide that I was aware of when I started Reiki. And when I did my first attunement, I saw this man. He had broad shoulders and a robe on. His head is completely bald, very, tall and strong postured. His voice is very strong as well. He does not sugarcoat things with me. When Asher is communicating with me, he is very direct. He has this very deep, big, booming voice. It actually scared me the first time that I heard it. I know that it's not like hearing, but part of the sensing, knowing, all that fun stuff that those of us who are highly in tuned, or whatever you want to call it, it's just part of how I gather information, is hearing, sensing, smelling, feeling, seeing, all the things. That's why I don't even know all the clairs, because to me it's just, this is what I do. And it may be that one thing I'm telling you is coming from a feeling, or a sense, a knowing. Another thing I'm telling you may be coming from, like, I'm seeing this, and I'm literally seeing what I'm saying, or it may be something that I hear, but it's not hearing with your ears, hearing with your mind. And with the seeing, it may not be seeing with your eyes, but seeing with like your third eye, your pineal gland, whatever it is. But anyway, so when I have skulls or dragon heads, things like that, I meditate with them, and whatever name comes into my head is the name that I call them by. So Asher came into my head, and I named this one Asher. But as I said, Asher, my guide, he did scare me one time. I was I had this big garden tub, and I was sitting in the tub. I had like a rose quartz sphere and some rose quartz stones over here, and some other stones. I had my spirit quartz. I think I've got that over here. Let's see. Should be with the purple stones. There we go. Yeah, I had this spirit quartz. It's actually, I think, ametrine. Yep, there we go. There's a little bit of a citrine color to it. And I had it on my third eye. I'm laying back in the tub. This was soon after I had learned Reiki to try to understand what this empath thing was. I just always knew that I could pick up on people's emotions, and I was getting very drained working in an environment with people whose emotions were incredibly dysregulated because of their difficulty with well-being. And so I was trying to open my third eye. And so I'm in the tub. I got my eyes closed. I've got the spirit quartz on my third eye. I was home alone. There was no one with me. I am highly allergic to cats, but at the time I was living with someone who we had 4 cats. And we had one of my dogs that I still have. She turned 13 in December. Anyway, I know I talk a lot. But all of a sudden, I hear this loud male voice, very booming and deep, like I said. So it wasn't just, a lot of times I'll just get like a thought that is the words. And so if I say I hear, it's kind of like I hear, but not hear. This I heard. Like, I jumped up. I'm like this in the tub. I'm thinking, oh my God, there's somebody in the house. I scared the crap out of one of the cats. That's why the cat is important, because the cats used to come up and they love to sit near the gemstones and whatever that I had put around. And they also wanted to see what was going on, like with the bathtub. If I had a bath bomb or something, they're like playing with the water. And I'd tell them, don't drink it. This is not good. But anyway, sorry. My ADHD is really strong today. So anyway, I'm like, oh my God, because all of a sudden I hear, you don't need to open your third eye. It's already open. Trust yourself. That was a long time ago. Well, let's see. I took Reiki probably around 2012, 2013. And that was probably around 2014 or 15. That was the first time that I had heard it as like an external type of voice, and it scared the crap out of me. And I realized it was Asher because the energy felt the same. I used to get worried talking about this stuff because people might think you're crazy. But you know what? If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. If you understand what I'm saying, that's fine too. We all have intuition. We all can connect with our ancestors, divine beings, whatever. But yeah, maybe somebody needed that validation that you can talk about this stuff. And even if people think you're crazy, that's their stuff to deal with. So anyway, we've got Falkor, we've got Asher. I guess now we have the spirit quartz. And then also I was called to my Indigo Gabbra palm stone. So it looks like from the stones that we have here, I realize with the Indigo Gabbra, we've got a bit of purple, we've got some black. So with this stone, I'm usually thinking of like, because it is kind of a like gray or purple. I think of crown chakra, third eye chakra, and then with the black, the root chakra with that grounding. Larvikite, again, we've got a darker stone. I usually have this one out for a grounding energy as well. And then with the ametrine spirit quartz and the amethyst, dream amethyst dragon, we have that connection with, again, the crown chakra, also third eye chakra. So it looks like today we're really focusing on that crown chakra, that connection to whatever it is for you, ascended masters, God, angels, guides, ancestors, higher self, anything, whatever it is that gives you that sense of connection. Could even be the energy of the earth, the universe, source, all of those things. And then with the root chakra grounding. So we're going from top and third eye with that intuition. So our top chakra is up here, and then our root chakra to ground. And with that ametrine, with that citrine aspect of this, a little bit of solar plexus, because you have to balance that out too. You got to have some confidence and reduce those worries and anxieties to be able to connect with the higher chakras in a way that you're not overloaded. And then grounding, you have to do that. So I feel like this is kind of balancing the two. We'll see. Anyway, we got your needs, and then we have, sometimes you need to bow your head and pray, meditate, whatever it is for you. So the decks that I was called to today, and I guess we're a little more woo today, and that's okay, because like I said, I'm over the worry about what people think. It's whatever. So we've got the Modern Witch Tarot. I am newer to this deck. I've used it a couple of times. I have wanted it for a while. This is by Lisa Sturl. Because it does have a lot of inclusivity, a lot of focus on different, a lot of focus on differences and having a variety in the drawings and characters that we see in the cards. So one time I used this, the very first time I used it, the star card came out and she is completely naked. So on social media platforms, I don't know exactly how people would perceive or take that. So I will try to be more mindful to look at the card before I flip it around to the screen, like really look at the card, so that I don't inadvertently, I don't know, create a problem or upset anyone or something like that. So we've got that. Then we've also got the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. This is actually a deck that my husband had chosen for himself, and he has used it on multiple occasions. But as I'm the one who tends to do the tarot and oracle readings the most, and I've got the space where I've got a lot of the decks, we go ahead and just keep it in here. So that was calling to me. And then a deck that I got off of Amazon. I've mentioned before that sometimes the words are not spelled correctly, but the messages are good and they're on point. So this is the Haunted Echoes Oracle deck. I'm seeing my Divine Timing deck, which is in my room, my bedroom. So we'll go through some of these cards. We're already at 15 minutes in and see if that's important. Not sure. We'll see. All right. I've already shuffled this before I put it back in last time. So we're just going to go with the shuffles we have. God, angels, ancestors, and guides. What is the message that needs to come out, especially with this, your needs and that connection? What needs to be known? What is the focus? I feel like that's what I always ask. It's kind of like when I have a client, I'm like, so tell me, how have you been doing? And I feel like sometimes they're like, oh, here we go. But they always say they don't. All right. So the first card that we have is the Ace of Swords. Still getting used to this ring light. Okay, there we go. This is a very shiny deck as well. So with this Ace of Swords, we have this hand coming in, holding a sword. And with the sword, we've got this bright light halo type glow around it. We have the smoke that's going around it. And as I'm seeing that, what I'm seeing is kind of like, you know, when you blow out a candle and the smoke kind of just swirls up as the candle is completely extinguishing. So with this, I'm seeing it as there's something that either you just, like I heard, stopped. Like you realize that it didn't need to be in your life anymore, or that you want to stop, or you know you need to. But there's something that needs to be extinguished. There's something that the truth needs to be recognized. I'm hearing the truth doesn't necessarily need to be said out loud. So if you feel like you need to say it out loud, that's fine. But it's more of you, like with your thoughts, being able to recognize that this needs to happen. You've got to cut it out. Like I'm seeing a cord cutting right now, like the two candles and the string wrapped around them. And usually I've only done a couple of cord cuttings myself. I do anything that I do intuitively. If it matches up and aligns with what the rules are, then it does. But what I do is I write down what comes to me as far as like intentions. And when I'm doing a cord cutting, I always put in there something about that I do not wish harm or ill will on the person, situation, or whatever it is that I'm doing the cord cutting with. Like I said, I've done it only a couple of times, so I'm talking like I've done it a lot, but that's really important to me. But that I don't want that in my life anymore. I have no need to have that be a part of my life anymore. So this is a situation where there's something that you need, like even if you feel like you've ended it, you need to completely cut the ties. And so like I said, that's what I'm seeing is like the smoke coming up after it's completely burned down and it extinguishes. So not even blowing the candle out, it's just, it's out, it's done. With this pink that's coming in, I feel like part of that's going to be focusing on your heart chakra. And maybe that's why I talked about how, you know, I'll wish for healing or good for the other person, but just that I don't want them in my life. Like I don't care whether their karma comes to them. That's between them and whoever and whatever. But that for me, I wish you peace. I wish you healing. I wish you whatever. But I also am going to focus on my needs and being able to say, I'm cutting these cords. I'm cutting this tie. I'm, moving on. And often, when I'm doing things, I call on, the archangels. And when I've done a cord cutting, I call on Archangel Michael very frequently. I know Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, I mention them a lot, but they are the first two archangels that introduced themselves to me. And so I do have a very strong connection with both of them. But Archangel Michael for protection and Archangel Raphael for that healing. So again, that heart chakra. But yeah, this is, to me, this is just like completely cutting it off, and letting it go. I'm even seeing these gold things as like the embers that kind of fly off. It's almost like the flame wants to stay lit, but it's not going to. Like, we're completely extinguishing that. So whatever this is for you, and however you feel is best to create that closure, whether it's that you physically write down what you want to let go of and you crumble it up, or you tear it up and you throw it away, or you burn it, or you create an image in your mind of maybe like this box that locks or whatever, and you put it in the box, and you don't push it down and keep it inside, but you put it somewhere. You just bury it somewhere that it's not going to affect you. And I'm not like trying to tell you rituals or things like that. Some of the, like the writing something and crumpling it up or tearing it up, things like that, even in therapy, that's something that is discussed as an exercise to just visually see that disconnect from the relationship and things like that. So I feel like that's important for you to figure out what it is for you. Because for me, as I said, intuition is everything, and you have to follow what your intuition is. And I don't usually read the cloud that the hand is coming out of this way. Usually I see it as like it's a divine gift that, you know, or a divine intervention that helps you, like comes to you in a time in a way that you need it. But when I was looking at the cloud a second ago, I heard like it just came out of nowhere. So I don't know if the situation or whatever it is that you need to focus on, it felt like it just came out of nowhere, or if you feeling like you needed to let it go felt like it came out of nowhere. But I keep getting called to that divine timing deck. So I feel like it's just knowing that this was divine timing. So we'll see if I am supposed to go get that deck. We're already at 22 minutes because I spent at least 15 minutes talking about my stones and intuition and stuff. But yeah, this didn't come out of nowhere. This was something that was divinely planned. So whether it's happened or you're thinking about it, just know this Ace of Swords is like saying it's time to cut the cord. Like, let it go. There's nothing you can gain from it. Whether the situation or the person, it feels like you have to stay, you have to keep some kind of a connection, you have to keep the peace. This is saying, no, you don't. You don't. And the other card that came out was the Two of Cups, which can be about relationships as far as romantic relationships, but it also can be friendships, business relationships, all of those things. And so again, I feel like that's just reiterating whatever this is. If it's some kind of a relationship, but whatever it is, you already know that it's not in your best interest, that it's not working out for you. And you may be quietly tiptoeing away, but I feel like that's not how because it just cut it out, cut the cord. That's not how it's going to be the best. You have the strength. We've got the lion here in the background. You are strong enough to just let this situation go. The fear, though, is what keeps you, like, here are the snakes underneath. And we talked about snakes aren't necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes when we think of snakes, some people may have a fear of snakes. So the fear is what's holding you back. Even when I look at these cups in this deck and how pink they are, yes, that can be a heart chakra connection, but a lot of time, well, I've used the deck, I think this is the third time, maybe third or fourth. When I've looked at them, they always make me think of like seeing things through rose-colored glasses. So you've tried to make this better than it is. You've known for a long time that it wasn't going to work out, but you've just held on for some reason, whether you thought the person was going to change. Like, even if you look at the faces of these two people, you've got this one, she looks hopeful. And then you've got this person, and they look like they're indifferent. So I feel like you're not on the same page. There's a lighthouse in the background. It's like far in the background, but it's like, hello, hello, trying to shed some light so that you can stop thinking that this person, this situation, whatever it is going to change, because it's not going to change. And you do have the strength to be able to get through this and to let it go. Your intentions are more pure than this other person. Their intentions are not as pure. I feel like, though, what I noticed is, look at how dark blue this person's jacket is versus the blue that's in this person's shirt. And I'm seeing this is representing you. So I feel like this person, throat chakra wise, like, whether what they say is true or it's just an opinion or what, they are much more likely to be blunt. They're much more likely to speak up. They're much more likely to say what it is that they feel like they need to say. Now I know why I felt like I needed to put the blue up on my sign, because I can change the colors. But I was like, throat chakra is going to come into this somewhere. They're very emotional too. Like, you're on the ground. You're more grounded. This person also looks a little bit more timid. Like, even if you are the strong person, but even if you're someone who usually speaks up, in this situation, you're not for some reason, or you do, but you only do to the extent that you're not creating problems with this person. Whereas this person, when I'm seeing this water, even though they're standing in it, they're not emotionally regulated. They're not emotionally grounded. And so you've got that in addition to this throat chakra, where they're just like unbalanced in their throat chakra too. And they may even be rude. They may be putting you down. They may be threatening, whatever they're doing. Maybe it's not even that extreme, but it's like that one up type thing. Like, and even in the heights, look at that. Like, this person is slightly taller than that person. It's not even, it's not balanced. And you know this. You know this. But with those wings on the lion's head, like you have, and even in here, and we've got that pink. Really look into your heart. Look into that heart chakra and know that you're divinely guided. We've got that halo around the sword. We've got the angel wings on the lion's head. Like, you're divinely guided and you will get through this. And it's not even necessarily that the other person, the situation, whatever it is bad. It's just they're not right for you. And it's creating difficulty for you. And you don't have to stay stuck in that difficulty. You've been putting in a lot of work. I feel like this relates back to this person. Like, they may be taking all the credit for the work that you've done or the things that you're doing or how something is. But, and when I look at her face, look at her face. She's putting in the work. And usually with the Seven of Pentacles, yeah, there's a lot of effort that goes into it. Like, she's growing these pentacles. She's got the watering cup and everything. But she just looks kind of impatient, disinterested, just, yeah, I'm doing this. But I feel like that's more the energy of you when you feel like that you're putting in all this work and it's not really doing much because this other person, they're taking credit for it, or they're not even acknowledging that you've done the work, or it's never enough. Like, there's something where you're putting in the work, but you don't feel like it's leading to something that's bringing you joy, something that's bringing you abundance, something that's creating a way for you to be able to move up or get what you want. And so with this Page of Pentacles, it's like you've got the ideas. You've got the things that you need to be able to turn this into something that actually does grow the things that you want. That you do blossom into this person that feels confident within themselves. And I say that as I see kind of this yellowy orange color back here. I feel like there's a lot of suppression within your solar plexus chakra. Like there's that anxiety is coming through, and you have like a little bit of confidence, like with the line I was talking about. We talked about the strength, but there's that confidence. You have a little bit of confidence. You know that you are good at what you do. You know that you could probably do it on your own. You've been contemplating it and thinking about it. You're thinking, how can I take this gift? How can I take this thing that I know is going to be something I want to grow and start doing that? But you're still in that contemplative stage of change, and you're still stuck. When I look at her, I see a little bit of hope, but look, she's got those, like literally, I have not seen this card in this deck. She's got rose-colored glasses on. So you're still looking at it through this filtered lens. And what you need to know is you don't have to stay in this contemplative state. You have the strength. You have the gifts. You have everything you need to be successful. And it's not to say that it's going to be easy, but it is something you can do. You don't need this person to be successful. You're already doing the work. It's just not satisfying because you're not, for whatever reason, you're not getting what you want out of it. And I'm noticing a lot how she's standing out in nature, and there is the city in the background. And I say this a lot, but nature and grounding are so powerful. But whether it's getting out of nature or getting somewhere that you can have quiet, you can have time and space to yourself. If you need to, get a journal. This is so helpful. I don't even have like consistent things in here. Sometimes I wrote a poem in here. Sometimes it's just random thoughts that I have. Sometimes it's things that I feel like are important messages, or things that I want to talk to someone about. And so I'm trying to think of how I want to word it, whatever it is. But I feel like this is representing you getting into a space where you're able to really be in tune with your thoughts and not be in all this buzz and chaos is the word that I'm hearing. But just having so much going on around you, you need to get into that quiet space so that you can really think about what it is that you want. So let's see if anything else comes out of the tarot. Yeah, on the bottom. Oh, I guess this is the way we're going to do it then. On the bottom, we've got the High Priestess. Again, you already know. You already know that you have the gifts that you need to be able to step out on your own and do what you want. It's just getting really grounded into that confidence. And it's funny I say that because there's yellow on the ground. Solar plexus and root chakra. And look, she's wearing black boots. So yes. And we talked about the grounding coming in. Also the intuition. Like this card literally embodies every stone that I have here. We've got the intuition. She's got the purple on. So being able to connect with that third eye and crown chakra. She has the pearl on top of her head, like the pearl of wisdom, that intuition. She's very in tune with her intuition. And being able to ground yourself. She's got the black boots on. We've got the black and the purple and the indigo gabbra. We've got the dark gray and black in the larvikite. So like I said, and then we've got this little spot of citrine in the amethyst. You have this. You've got to find a balance. Look, we've got the black and the white pillars. You've got to find a balance, and you have to be able to trust yourself. And we even have pomegranates in the back of this card. So that abundance, that, sorry, my husband's calling, and so I can see it on the screen, and I'm on my phone, so I can't even text him to say, but I don't want to stop the reading because I've been doing this for too long now. So he's just going to have to wait. 34 minutes and 50 seconds. He's just going to have to wait because we are in this and he'll be okay. But yeah, those pomegranates. So that abundance, fertility, like when we look at the growing, fertility doesn't necessarily just mean pregnancy. It also means that you birth a new idea or you bring something to fruition. Pomegranates, fruit, fruition. So you can do this. You just got to get out of your like anxious head and get into that inner knowing and that really clear thought process. And some of it's going to require you to take this light blue where you may speak up sometimes and really get into this darker blue where you're speaking up for yourself. You're being assertive. You're advocating for yourself. The devil says that you're holding yourself back. In this card, I don't know if you need me to cover the bottoms up. It should be okay. But anyway, they've got these chains around their necks, but the chains are loose. The devil card represents things that hold us back. That can be fear. It can be addictions and things like that too. But it's being able to recognize that your fear of moving forward, your fear of ending this is what is keeping you held back. It's what's making it hard for you because you have all the tools that you need. You even have divine support and guidance, we won't go through all the things. But you have that divine support and guidance, and you being able to know that and to feel like it's okay. You need to step into that. We've got the Wheel of Fortune that just, I'm just pulling them off the deck now, but with the Wheel of Fortune, you may have felt before like you were on the bottom. You may have felt like with this other person that they had the information, the knowledge, maybe they had the resources and things like that. You didn't even realize that you have it too. Like that's really, I don't read this card this way a lot, but you felt like you were on the bottom and they definitely were fine with being on the top. Like look at her face. I've seen this card before, so I know her face is very indifferent. And you felt like you were just kind of clinging on and that this was the way that you needed to do the thing. So you just stayed in it, but you don't have to. But you're going to have to really regulate those emotions. You know, we've got this chaotic water underneath him. Water often represents emotions, so do cups. But even with this chaos, he's sitting here and he's not bothered. He's not bothered by many things. He is speaking his mind more. He's got that darker blue like we had talked about. He's got the yellow and the crown. He's much more confident than where you feel right now. So get those emotions under control. Let go of that anxiety some. Really become clear on what you want. Delve into these emotions. Figure out what are those emotions that are keeping you stuck in this devil energy. Because if you can release those emotions, then you're going to be better able to connect with your higher self. The Chariot says that you need to take action. And we've got this motorcycle. She's got a wand, or this person has a wand. They are also wearing a crown. They have the moon that is even in the High Priestess card. You have the ability. That's interesting. We talked about getting away from like the city, the distractions and things like that. And we've got that same background image. Like you're contemplating, but this is saying you've got the tools and you need to move forward. Get out of that contemplative state because that is keeping you stuck. That is keeping you feeling like you can't move forward, that you aren't getting what you want. You're putting on all the work and it's just not going anywhere. But understand that the Chariot's coming in saying you can do this, and there is movement, there is forward movement, but you've got to be driving the motorcycle. You've got to be the one that takes off. And notice in the stance of this person, they are 100% confident. Like they are a person on a mission. They're doing the thing. And there's a balance here too. We looked at the columns in the High Priestess and look at these Sphinx down here. Yes, this ring light is, I don't mean to jump around. But we've got the balance in the black and the white and the black and the white. So finding that balance. You can do this. And the Six of Wands says there is a victory coming in for you. If you do the work, this is the thing. If you do the work, you have to put in the work, then that victory is going to come through. And part of it is that you have to be, look at how confident she is. And even her earrings have a V for victory. So this is the Six of Wands. And like I said, we've got that victory wreath up at the top too. And she is completely confident in herself. She's beautiful too, but she is completely confident in herself. You've got to be confident in yourself as well. Like this horse that she's on, she's leading the way. All right. So there's so many more that we can pull off of that, but I'm going to stop here because we're already at 40 minutes. And let's get into the Halloween deck. I feel like, and I say this a lot when I finish the tarot, because I always just use the Oracle, unless I'm only doing the Oracle, as a way to just clarify the messages. But I feel like it's really clear. There's a reason that this piece of trash that I didn't even know was on my desk came out when I was pulling some stuff out today that says your needs. And then the sticker that was saying, you know, sometimes you just need to bow your head and, what was it? Bow your head and pray. I'm dropping stuff. Bow your head, say a prayer, and weather the storm. So again, connecting to whatever your intuition, your higher self, divine guidance, whatever it is, connecting to that. And getting through all this stuff that feels chaotic, weather the storm, deal with your emotions, heal, move forward so that you can create the situation that you want. Because right now you're keeping yourself stuck. You're not trying to, you may not even be aware of it, but you're keeping yourself stuck. So we're going to go ahead and pull at least one or two cards from here. And then I will pull at least one Haunted Echoes Oracle card because it usually just puts the exclamation point on it. And now my husband's calling again. He's just going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait. And that, I think, was because, nope. I thought it was because my hands are small. So the cards, yes. This makes total sense. Winter, the sacredness of pausing. So again, we talked about whether it's getting out in nature. This is a winter scene, and winter, a lot of things are not growing. So there's a pause, there's a stillness that comes in. So getting into that space where you don't have as much going on. So the sacredness of the pause and allowing yourself to think, because what that's going to do is bring in the joy, rejoicing in the present. Look at the difference between these two cards. This one, you know, we've got the winter and then we've got the fall, and there's a lot of that orange of that passion, creativity of the sacral chakra, and then the yellow of the solar plexus chakra, really bringing in that joy. And whereas in the winter, you know, we see the dead leaves. Yes, fall, the leaves are dead too, but there's a difference in the color, the intensity, and the feeling of it. So if you go into this more like hermit, meditative, contemplative state where you're writing things down, it's very powerful to write things down. You're seeing yourself and visualizing yourself in this joy and moving out of the crap. You've got to move out of the crap. You can't stay in the situation that you've been in. You can't stay in the shadow of this person who, or situation, whatever it is, it feels like it's holding you back, or maybe even, like I said, taking credit for things or overbearing, whatever it is that they are, whatever this person is doing. You need to cut the crap, get balanced in that King of Cups, balanced emotions, and move on. It's time to move on because you're going to succeed. You just got to be confident about it. You got to take a moment to pause and have that quiet contemplation. All right, so let's get one card from this deck. Oh, my ears are ringing. I'll have to look at that later. All right, so we had at least one card fall out. Aha, this is exactly what I was saying. So this card is Restless Spirit. And it says, unresolved issues keep you from finding true peace. Address what haunts you. Dig in. Take some time to really think about what it is that you need to let go of. Let it go. Do a cord cutting if you need to. You've got to cut that crap out. Cut it out. Extinguish the candles. Extinguish the flames that keep you connected to the situation. You don't need it. You are powerful enough on your own. You can create the things that you want, but you have to believe in yourself. I can believe in you all day long. I can tell you that this is what you need to do. And it's scary, but you got to release that fear and you've got to do it. Whatever this is, stop letting it hold you back. Focus on your needs. And we got the same colors in this that we've been talking about, the purple with that third eye, that crown chakra. We've got the blue with third chakra, advocating, speaking up for yourself. We've got the orange here, that sacral chakra, being into your passion, your creativity, all of those things. You've got this. Now it's on the floor. Like I said, it is technically trash, but you've got this. You've just got to believe in yourself. It's 46 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I think the message is more than clear. And also I need to call my husband back to let him know I'm not ignoring him intentionally. I guess I did kind of ignore him intentionally, but for a good reason. I didn't want to have to start this over. It's never the same when you start a reading over. I say that, but I did have one that it was literally the same cards. Oh well. Anyway, have a good weekend. Take care.